Well, thanks for joining us again for Sal Marriage Coaching.
Yeah.
We're still celebrating National Marriage Week, and today we are going to focus on
Expectation versus expectancy.
Pray tell, what is that, wifey?
And so it probably sounds very similar, or it sounds like exactly the same thing, but it's actually a difference in heart posture. And so expectation is where sometimes we don't even realize what our expectation is or that we have one, but it's usually very specific. And we're looking for a very specific outcome of like, oh, I want this and this to happen, or I want this and this to not happen. And when that thing either doesn't happen or does happen, whichever it is, all of a sudden there's this huge area for disappointment. Versus expectancy, where the heart posture is, I have this general hope of something being good, of something working out, or of something like maybe there's an unknown and we're not really sure what the end result will be, but I have this general feeling of hope that the end result will be good. And it leaves this area open so that actually disappointment doesn't get to come in and rob us of a situation, because so many times, I mean, situations can play out so many different ways. And sometimes we don't even realize that we have an expectation until all of a sudden we're disappointed over the outcome. And we're like, oh, why am I disappointed? Oh, I didn't even know I was expecting something, or having an expectation that was specific. But if we can have this heart posture, and again, we're talking about it, like I'm talking about it very generally right now, but we specifically in marriage, what does it look like to have a heart posture of expectancy towards our spouse rather than expectation of, okay, I have this general, my general assumption about his heart is that it is for me, is that it is good. It's that all of these different things that make up who he is and how he is towards me. That is my expectancy of him. And so when that is in place, certain things can happen throughout the day. But if that is my mindset of, oh no, his heart is for me, the general expectancy of him is that he wants to do things for me. He's not trying to hold me back, or he's not trying to not see something, it changes my perspective and it changes the outcome of certain days, because then all of a sudden disappointment doesn't get to stand or hold, because my heart posture is different. My perspective is different.
Do you have a practical example from our lives that you could give?
I'm thinking of, if my heart posture is expectancy, then I can hold him cleaning the kitchen with a super open hand, because it's like, okay, I don't have an expectation that, oh, he's supposed to come down and clean the kitchen every night. But if I have expectancy of like, oh, I know his heart's for me, I know he wants to help me, I know he's not trying to like make me do all the work, or whatever it is, whatever those thoughts are that can kind of trail in. If I have this open-handed expectancy of like, no, I know he wants to partner with me, even in the simple tasks, then when he does come and clean the kitchen, and it's not like I had to ask him to do it, but he just came down and just saw it was messy and started cleaning, then it's like that hopeful place, rather than like, oh, and that means that next time if he doesn't see the dishes, well, then I'm disappointed. Or there's like, because I had this expectation that he should have seen it as soon as he walked into the room. So it actually gets to be a hopeful outcome. And I just get to enjoy the fact that he saw them, rather than an expectation that I held that I didn't maybe even realize that I held, that didn't get met.
I think for me, one of the things I really want to give our viewers is we all come into marriage with expectations. And a lot of it is because of how it was modeled in marriages that, we were raised under.
Yeah.
Or how, roles that we saw our spouses, or roles that we saw our parents take.
Yeah.
And so we step into marriage with these expectations, not realizing some of them aren't realistic. And I think the problem is that then we hold these unrealistic expectations, and it doesn't set our spouse up for success.
Yeah.
It actually can create division and conflict.
Yeah.
And the idea that some expectations that I brought into marriage actually needed to be crucified was something that had never crossed my mind before I entered into marriage.
Right.
And so for some of us, I think we have to be willing to do the hard work and ask ourselves, especially in communicating those expectations with our spouse. Yeah, these are the expectations I've held about marriage and the role that you would play in it and what you would do in it. And then being humble and receptive enough to actually hear them say, I don't want to do this, or I don't have the bandwidth to do this. And, I'm sure that changes in seasons.
Yeah,
but
true.
Hearing the hard truth of something that we expected, and what are we saying? Almost like silently demanding that
That's
this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so that was a foreign thought to me of like, oh, there might be expectations that I've brought into marriage that I might need to crucify. And that was a really big thing for me to realize some things had to be laid down.
Yeah. Yeah. But I find that it's such a perspective shift from me not even realizing, and exactly what you had just said, we don't even realize that we can have an expectation that we're bringing in because it was our norm or it's what we saw modeled. But and then it's like the biggest culture shock when the opposite, when the person that you're in a relationship with goes, what? No, I'm not doing that. Since when? Why do we have to do it like that? And suddenly it's like, oh, I thought that was normal. I thought that was just the way this worked.
Yeah.
And so realizing
is correcting the way you load the dishwasher, the hill I want to die on. We honestly, we laugh, but like we hear that in more couples we work with, do marriage coaching with than you would actually think.
Yeah. And it sounds silly, but then if you think about like, okay, what's the thing that gets you really tripped up? Like, what's the thing that all of a sudden you're like wanting to get so mad over and disconnect from your spouse about? Oh, it's usually an expectation, or it's usually like we've had an expectation and then something doesn't happen. We get disappointed, or we get, resentment starts to build up because then all of a sudden now we're starting to build a story in our brain for why they are not doing this thing that we have thought that they should be doing and that they should see and know and recognize. And then suddenly we're so far removed from the perspective that we should have of them, is that they love us, that they are for us, they want to do things for us, and suddenly we are so living outside of the realm that we should even be viewing our spouse from. And it creates so many things that are actually death to our relationship. And so when we come from the perspective of, oh, I can have expectancy that because I know he's for me, because I know he wants to connect, he wants to help, he wants to serve, whatever that is, whatever that umbrella is, you can put that there and then suddenly watch the way that you react to situations shift. And even your spouse might even react differently to situations because you are not reacting to it in a certain way.
Yeah, like for me, a big breakthrough was when I stopped choosing to look through a critical lens and actually started looking for the things that I could be thankful and actually like affirm and thank you in. That was huge. So, it was like almost every night, if you're cooking and that's most of the time, I'm like, babe, thank you so much for dinner. I feel so loved by that. Or, oh my gosh, I know how much doing a mountain of laundry sucks. Like, thank you so much for folding the laundry.
Yeah. And those things go a long way.
But that was a huge shift for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully this day 6 little nugget will help. and encourage you and shift a perspective that possibly needed to be shifted, or just give you clarity and insight into maybe what was clouding something or keeping you from connecting with your spouse. So we look forward to chatting with you soon.
That's right. Solid marriage coaching, where marriages can thrive so well.
There you go.
Solid marriage coaching.